Okay. Can someone confirm me? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
It's visible.
Yes, visible.
Cool. So this is all about Microsoft Intune, the demo what I'm planning today. So before I start, I would like to even understand the background of each one of you, so that I will even start my introduction after that. Of course, I just got from Ali. Yes, so you're not currently working, but you have the 3 years of SSM admin experience. That's good.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and I know Shiva. Shiva is already working. She is also having good enough experience. And what else? The Pankaj. Yes, I think Pankaj, you already have an experience. What is your total experience, Pankaj?
I have 6 years of work experience.
Okay, you are currently working as an AVD, Azure Virtual Desktop Engineer, and Citrix engineer,
Citrix,
right?
some primary technologies is Citrix, and AVD. I have like recently I've started on working on the AVD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine. But at least you have even good enough experience when in terms of IT. Good.
Yes.
Okay. And yeah, I think that's it, right? Anyone? Jagruti? Yeah, I wanted to know about Jagruti.
Um, yeah,
What's your
so
experience here?
I have 6 years of experience in application packaging, and I
Oh,
have
great.
knowledge of SCCM deployment as well.
Uh-huh. SSM deployment. Not an SSM admin role, right?
Yeah, not in SCCM admin, role, only application deployment part.
Understood. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You even have a very good enough experience. Good.
Okay.
So let's talk about okay, before I start, because most of you are not aware about me. So myself, Rajendra, I have around 16 or 17 years of IT experience. Okay, having around 17 years of IT experience. In my total career, I was just doing multiple roles because I started even my career with application packaging. Jagruti, it's the same. We are in the same phase. Okay, and I was there almost like 7 8 or almost like 10 years. I was well versed in this application packaging. When I say this, MSI, AppV, MSIX, everything I have done. And on top of that, and then I got an opportunity to work as an SCCM. So when I say an SCCM, it is just not only one part of it. I did a complete architecture role as well as an admin role in SCCM, and also the imaging part, as well as what do you call the patching, and the one what you're talking about, the deployment of application or packages, and end to end. It's like I was setting up an infrastructure for one of the, I mean, to the clients whenever there is a requirement. So I mean to say, I did end to end role in an SCCM, and even I worked as an Intune. After that, I got an opportunity. So Intune also I played complete an admin role and architect role. Everything. It's something similar to the same in SCCM. Okay, but still it's a kind of ongoing. It's still evolving, that Intune in the world, because it's not that every company is already being adapted to this technology. They are still the legacy of SCCM. Yes, but still there is a scope. It's we have to even keep learning on Intune. That's the phase right now, the Intune tool. And apart from this, even I do work as an Azure administrator as well as Azure Cloud Solution Architect. I mean to this say solution architect and the admin. It is, when I say an admin, it is all about the BAU activities, like everything what you handle in an Azure services. When you say Azure, it gives you a lot of services. VMs is one, storage accounts is another stuff, and networking is very challenging thing. And you can see like migrating the application from on-premise environment to the cloud. I mean to say, I like a Azure cloud migration engineer. Okay, like migrating the apps from on-prem to cloud. When I say on-prem to the cloud, you guys, I don't know whether you are aware of it. It's like applications are hosted in a VMware environment, or it can be hosted in an Hyper-V, or some of the companies, they have the Oracle VirtualBox, right? So, and you might see some of them are like a physical servers. So doing the migration of all these applications from on-prem environment to the cloud, and all apart from all this, and parallelly, whatever the technology I work on, automation is another factor. So I do write a lot of scripts in the PowerShell, also in Terraform, also in JSON, because JSON and Terraform is something which is required for me to work on the Azure admin or cloud architect role. And PowerShell script is something, it can be used everywhere, whether you use an application packaging or SCCM or Intune or Azure. So this can help you out any technology, because we have a lot of modules. We can use those modules everywhere. So this is just a brief idea about me. In fact, I'm currently looking for some sort of, a small startup kind of company, wherein I'm looking for some sort of project. Like there are a couple of projects with me, one or two. I would be getting it. I might even need some resources. So that's what even I'm planning to, train the student, and let's see if somebody is really enthusiastic and they have the technically very exposure, and I would like to keep them with me whenever I get a project, anything related to the Azure Intune SCCM packaging. I would like to they assign those project or the work to the students, and I will, at least they will even get a hands-on and practical experience. Of course, I would be even paying them. It's not just simply I would be using them. So this is a kind of the brief about me. So currently, yes, I'm looking very desperately to get some sort of project or work. I would be completely, as of now, I want to get into the freelancing mode. So it's been like more than 4 or 5 years. I'm just working as a freelancer, but at the same time, I want to do startup something. Okay. So as part of this, I'm even trying to train my students. I want to see how we can move forward. So that is just a brief about me. And now let's get into the Microsoft Intune, the topic. Any doubts so far? Anybody would like to know anything else? Yes.
Hello.
Yep.
Sir, I went to the course. My last particular was 51st March. At least 4 months, 5 months gap already. I'm not working for 5 months. So
Okay.
any issue or not?
No, that is something we'll talk about it later. No, there won't be any issue. That is something you have to, get that experience certificate from other third party, the payrolls. You try to tell them you are working as a, still anyhow as a contractor, right? So you can approach any one of the consultancy, they can help you out, and they can give you the
Okay.
experience letter, right? That is easy. You're not, in fact, your career is within, I believe, not a permanent role. It's a contract role only, right? Why don't you
Yes.
go back and talk to the same consultancy who was running a payroll for you? Ask them to give the certificate, no? For the remaining those 5 months or 6 months, whatever the bench period you are on. I think that's even
Okay.
possible. You just go and talk to the same consultancy. They can help you out.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. So now let's get into the Microsoft Intune. So I know that at least you guys are aware about what is Microsoft Intune, right? I can see that almost everybody are aware of SSM tool, except I think, who is that? Jagruti. Okay, Jagruti is also working. Only I think Pankaj. Pankaj doesn't know anything about SSM or Intune. That's correct, right? My understanding is correct, Pankaj?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So before even I start, I just wanted to give you some idea, because you
Mm.
don't know anything about an SCCM, right? So Intune is something, when I talk about, is basically It's a cloud version. Okay. We have on-prem environment, we have something called, it's an SCCM. Okay. In Intune is something, the cloud version. The cloud version of SCCM. So when I talk about an SCCM, of course, most of you already know, but just for the Pankaj, I wanted to tell him, SCCM is basically we using it just to do the deployment purpose. Deployment of applications, packages, or patches. When I say the patches, it's a OS patches and images, like operating system images. Okay, and we can also use it for the monitoring purpose, asset tracking, of the organization. So this is how basically your SCCM going to help you. This is from the on-premise environment. Okay, when I say an on-premise environment, okay, I'll talk about that later. But for the time being, remember, so SCCM tool is for the on-prem environment, and the same sort of activities will be done by the cloud version of the SCCM. That's called an Intune. The purpose of this Intune is, again, it's similar to this SCCM, but it is also having a lot of other advantages, because since it is a cloud, right? So you can take some control of the devices and you can try to push some policies. So this is, apart from the deployment, you can also enforce some policies. When I say the policies, something like on-prem group policies, you guys know, right? You have something called a group policies concept that we do enforce the on-prem, that Active Directory group policies using an on-premise environment. Some sort of that group policy deployment can also be done using your Intune. Okay. So now, before even I start, most of you, I don't know whether you are aware of it or not. So first you need to understand the on-prem versus cloud. Okay, Shiva, what do you know about this on-prem? What does it mean of on-prem?
Hello.
Yes, what is mean by this on-prem?
On-prem is nothing but a place where we have servers
Mm-hmm.
in our office locations only. And simply, we have to manage like data centers, physical data centers, simply you can say.
In
Offices, our offices.
yes, so you are having all your servers hosted inside of your on-premise, and this SCCM is also part of it. When I say you would be getting SCCM server, DP server, MP server, or WC server, or anything of Pixie booting, for that you need some of the servers. So all those servers are basically hosted. They are hosted in on-prem environment. It means all your SCCM servers are hosted inside your physical data center. That is inside your office premises. So that's not going out of your office premises. That is why I say it is an on-prem. But when I say the cloud, what is mean by this cloud then? It is also physical, but these data centers are hosted by service providers like Microsoft. Azure is from the Microsoft, Google Cloud is from the Google, and AWS, Amazon, right? So these are the vendors, very famous vendors available in the market. Of course, there are a lot of other vendors who are giving you the cloud services, but majorly we see Microsoft, Google, Amazon, they are giving you the cloud services. So they are trying to develop or deploy some sort of data centers in every region. Okay. And inside these data centers, you would be setting up your Intune environment. It means it is not okay inside your office premises. This will be something completely outside of your office premises. It is like over the public. Cloud is nothing but public facing. So this is going to be cloud version. I mean to say, I don't need to really do any sort of, the maintenance work in this data center. This is completely the data center securing this, or maintenance of the data centers, or anything related to the data center will be taken care by these vendors. Our responsibility is just only to start using the services available in the cloud. So on-prem, it is like fully control of that organization. But cloud is not in our control. Cloud is completely controlled by the service provider. Of course, the service providers will give you that assurance our data is secure, our servers are secure. And it's available for 24/7, and it is also been scalable. It is all about how much you want to spend. Okay. So because of that, I mean, the amount you spend, the service provider will give you the relevant services. Okay. So now on-prem, when we're talking about SCCM, is something we are deploying it inside of it. And Intune, we are not going to deploy anything. Intune infrastructure is already been set up in the cloud by the Microsoft. It is like a PaaS service, I can say. We are not going to manage anything. Let's say in Intune, sorry, on-prem, what will happen? You have an SCCM server, right? So this SCCM server, who is going to take care of this SCCM server if it is not available, if it is shut down? And if you want to install something, the server related components, DP related components, MP related components, and if there is a latest version of SCCM is available, who is going to update it? So this is all something you have to take care of it. That's called this is an on-prem environment. But when it comes to the cloud, I don't need to deploy any server to set up the cloud in Intune. I don't need any server to, like an SCCM server, I don't need any server to set up that infrastructure. It is all about just a portal. Okay, www.endpoint.microsoft.com. That's it. I'm not using any server. I'm not deploying any infrastructure inside of it. I am just simply going to use the URL, and backend, this Microsoft has already been set up the required infrastructure for it. Are you guys getting it? The difference? This
Yes.
is SCCM is purely our control. This is something we have to take care of it. But cloud is not that case. So you have to understand this. SCCM on-prem version, Intune is a cloud version. Now you guys have to tell me, everybody might be having some kind of questions in your mind. When Intune is in the market, does it mean it's going to take away the SCCM environment? Is it going to be completely replacing the SCCM?
No,
Or do you think
definitely.
that something has to always work like a hybrid? Yes, somebody was trying to answer.
I mean, not completely, because many organizations still they are using on-prem.
Exactly. It is not that easy overnight. It's not going to be completely you are wiping out the on-prem environment at an SCCM. No, that's not going to happen. Cloud, of course, we are evolving and we are trying to adapt the cloud technology, but it's not that easy. We have to completely wipe out your on-premise environment. Why? Because the very first reason I can simply say doesn't, I mean, I don't need to rely anything on the technology side. I just want to rely only on the data center side. How do I secure my environment? Simple. You tell me, is it, will I be having a very good control over on-prem or the cloud if I want to really secure my data?
On-prem.
It's obviously an on-prem, right? Because this is, I set up this with data center. It is fully in my control. Nobody can touch this. But cloud is not in my control. It is the vendors are taking care of it. I have to trust. Whatever they say, I have to trust. I have to believe it. I don't have a choice. I don't know what is really happening in the backend. Right? So that's a reason. There is very first simple reason, security, privacy. That's a reason. It's not easy. SCCM is going to be wiped out. It will be still there forever. Remember that. Okay, but it is all about whether they want to adapt to the Intune. Yes, they can do it. What they do is they try to keep both of them together, like a kind of hybrid. Okay, so in cloud will take some sort of responsibilities of SSM server. Some sort of workload can be handled through the cloud. Some sort of workloads will be handled by the SSC. When I say the workload, your endpoints, the deployment, whatever the deployment you're trying to do is the deployment is going to happen on the endpoint. Endpoint is nothing but your client devices, end users, right? So that particular end user devices, some of them will be managed by your on-prem, that's by your SCCM, and some of the workloads will be managed by the cloud. It's like people wants to go for an hybrid, but there are some very small organization, they don't have really very good infrastructure. They are just like startup companies, assume it. Okay, they don't want to really set up something in the physical data center. Okay, they don't want to take the risk spending amount upfront. See, if I, let's take about mine, I am trying to start up one small company, right? I definitely need some physical laptops, right? Laptops, when I say, it's all a physical, I need to have some physical. So if I want to start up with 4 or 5, the employees, I have to purchase 5 laptops, right? So the 5 laptops, how much it's going to cost for me? I want to set up some SSM environment. I need another laptop for it, right? So I have to spend a lot of things on it in the on-prem. That's the reason this SSM server. Okay, so I don't want to spend it. What I do, I will try to go with the Intune version, because Intune is also giving me that sort of facilities, right? The deployment. So I say that, okay, let me try to go with the Intune. I don't want to spend anything on the physical. It's like easy for me. I just need one single laptop. I can even ask the employees to use your own laptop as well. I can just set up one Intune account. I can start deploying the application. I can start, the controlling the devices of end users. That can basically happen through the Intune. So what I mean to say is, cloud, the Intune and SSM will be there. It's not that SSM will be wiped out. It will be still there in the market, but people will try to adapt to the Intune technology. Slowly they try to move it. It may take some time. Intune is still evolving. It's not fully matured, the tool in the market. There are a lot of things are happening every day. They try to improve or enhance the functionalities of Intune. Are you guys getting it? I'm just trying to give you some sort of, I wanted to give you some clarity about SCCM and Intune. There are a lot of people having this confusion in their mind. They want to just simply learn the Intune. They don't need to go for an SCCM, because they are thinking of SCCM will not be available in the market going forward. That can happen, but it will take a lot of time. It's like many years. Okay? Because a lot of companies, they already set up their SSM environment. They can't just simply they decom them. That's not happen. Okay, now you tell me any doubt so far, anything you want to get clarified.
So nowadays, few companies are using VMware Workspace ONE. Do you have any idea about that?
Why is that they are using? What is the purpose of
For
VMware?
deployment of applications,
Sorry, what is that?
application deployments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything when you
But
talk
it
about a
only
VMware?
supports for workstations, not for servers actually.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe there are a lot of other vendors coming in the market, but when you say the VMware, it is one of the vendor. They're trying to. Is it like a cloud version or like an on-prem version?
It's an on-prem version, I guess.
Yeah. So that's like it all depends on the budget, right? Whether what is that I can accommodate in my budget, which one I should go for it. they might be already having some sort of tie-up with the VMware for another, like a VMware on-premise environment. They might be giving some discounts, or they're trying to use that tool for the time being. Okay, it is all depends on the company's decision why they want to go for it. It's all about end of the day budget. If it is something feasible for them, yes, they will go for it. And some of the organization, very big organization, definitely they don't compromise at cost. They want to secure. They want to have some feasibilities. They always look for some features, enhancement, and scope, right? So they are ready to pay because they want to give a good service to the client. They pay more and they get the more client, and they try to get benefited out of it. But some of them are, they just want for them per self purpose. They don't want to go for a lot of the investment. Then they say, okay, whatever it is, let's use that. So I'm not really much aware anything about that workspace. It's not going to be that evolving in the market. So Intune will be definitely there, because you have to remember one thing: it's a Microsoft product.
Okay.
Microsoft is completely leading in everywhere, right? So they will, one or the other way, Microsoft will brand their product, and people will start using the Microsoft product, because end of the day, your operating system, right? Most of your operating systems are running on Windows. It's a Microsoft product, right? So anything and everything you take, most of them are Microsoft product. Even the cloud, we have an Azure. Earlier, in fact, it was with the Amazon, AWS. Amazon came into the market a way before to the Microsoft. Okay, but now it's giving tough competition. Microsoft Azure is giving tough competition to the AWS. It's in fact going forward, they will be completely leading. It's because Microsoft, they have lot of contact, they are having lot many clients, and they try to offer, they have their sales team is something entirely different, and they have some different the mindset, and they try to attract the clients. It's very easy for them to sell their product, and they can easily get into the market. So you have to remember, Intune will definitely going to be leading in the market. As of now, there are no such competitors for Intune from Amazon or the Google. So it's easy for them. So you have to remember, don't just focus any of the other tools. Whatever you said, like a VMware workspace or any of the other the tools, it is just only for the time being in that particular organization. You might not be have you. I mean, this might not be helpful if you go to the other companies.
Okay.
But try to learn whatever you get an opportunity. Try to learn. End of the day, the concept, the core concept will be same everywhere. If I learn the Azure, it doesn't mean that I don't need to know anything about Amazon, or don't think of that my cloud Azure experience doesn't help me to work in Amazon or Google. No, the core concept will be there. The terminologies will always different. I mean, we'll have some different, but at the end, everything will be the same. So try to focus on the key, the technology, and the root of it. Got it?
Yeah.
So now, yep. Any other doubts? Okay. If no, let me just give you some walkthrough on what is that I'm trying to cover and what is this. Okay. So Intune, just giving you an idea, it's like an SCCM version, but the purpose of using an Intune is, again, it's a kind of deployment. I want to do the deployment of your application packages, patches, images. Okay. So this is can be definitely handled through the Intune, but Intune still have to enhance a lot. It's not going to taking care of the entire SCCM activities. Okay. Still it is there. So now, if you want to basically learn the Intune, the prerequisites, I mean to say, Learning an Intune, when I say it is an Intune, it is a cloud. So you need to have some basic knowledge about Azure. Okay, why? Because Azure will be having Active Directory. We call it is an Azure Active Directory. And Intune is having the portal. Intune, when I say it is not a kind of SCCM servers, you are having the server names. No, it is just a URL. The tool, when I say the Intune tool, it is the URL based. Okay. So now this basically work together. First of all, you need to set up your portal, your Azure Active Directory. Your Azure account has to be there. Once you have this portal account, then you have to set up an Intune. Why? Because when I say the Intune is a cloud version, how do you basically log into this Intune? How do you basically get authenticated? How do you control access on the Intune portal? Okay, this is basically coming from the Azure. Okay, this Azure Active Directory. Your accounts will be part of this Azure Active Directory. Your devices will be part of your Azure Active Directory. So you need to first have the Azure portal, and then you need to have the Intune. So I mean to say, this is one thing, this is one thing. Let's say this is your on-prem, sorry, not on-prem, Azure Active Directory, AAD, okay? And this is your Intune. And you have some devices, let's say device 1, device 2, device 3, right? Oh, 1 second. Okay, so it's a device 1. Like I say PC1, and this is PC2, and now you have PC3. So now what I'm trying to do, so I want to have some sort of applications deployment. For the time being, understand application deployment, package deployments, and OS patches deployment, and image. When I say the image, it's not full-fledged imaging of your SCCM. It is just autopilot thing. Okay. And now I want to do the deployment of this to all these pieces, right? When I say this deployment, how it is going to happen? Because these devices has to be in control of Intune. But if you want to take the control of these devices through your Intune, these devices first has to be available or registered with your Azure Active Directory. Okay. Without this, your Intune cannot take the control of it. Okay. So this will be syncing. Okay. And you say Intune will be always in sync with your Azure Active Directory. So I will have the PC1 registered, PC2 registered, PC3 registered. So all these PCs will be available in your Azure Active Directory. And once you have the devices registered with Azure Active Directory, these devices will be, then you have to enroll these devices into Intune so that Intune will able to deploy this, what do you call, anything, either patches or packages or images. You understand? Yes, guys. Is this clear what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, it's clear.
So this is your Azure portal, and this is your Intune portal. Okay. So now when I say the PC1, PC2, and PC3, there are 3 different type of PCs can be used. Either you can use your company owned PC, or it can be your personal device also. Now I have Jagrati. Jagrati is having just now she just logged in from your personal laptop, right? Your personal laptop can also be enrolled with your Intune, your office environment, and your corporate environment can take the control of your personal laptop. I can make use of your laptop for my company purpose. How can I do it? There is a process for it. Okay, I don't need to ask you to come to the office, or I don't need to have some sort of VPN to be set up on your device. No, but still your device I can make use of for the corporate purpose. That is the feasibility or the feature you get with the Intune. But SCCM, no. SCCM is an on-prem version. You don't have that option to take the control. It is all about either you have to have the VPN on your devices, or else company has to give you a company laptop to make or start working with an SCCM environment. But Intune is not the case. The PC1, PC2, or PC3 can be of anything, either your personal device or the company owned devices. This is all up to the organization whether they want to use the personal devices or not. Okay, that's an exceptional case. Okay? But most of the time we will have the company owned devices only. Okay, so this is the kind of the architecture, how they basically interact each other. So the prerequisite is first you need to have the Azure portal account. Then we will have the Intune, and these two gets sync always. And then you need to have the devices. So these devices, we will be taking the control and we will be deploying these applications, packages, or images, or anything. Okay. So now that's like a prereq. If I go back and just wanted to give you some overview on the total the content, what we are going to cover in this Intune. So first, we need to know what is mean by Intune. As I just mentioned, it is a cloud version of your SCCM. Okay? And what is the role of the Intune? This is like a modern device management. It's a modern. When I say the modern, it is nothing but I'm not very strict to that controlling or managing the devices of my on-premise environment or my corporate devices. When I say the modern device, it means I'm extending the corporate device management to the personal device management as well. I am asking my employees to bring their devices, but still I would able to control them. So the Intune is playing that sort of modern, the device management role. Okay. So you need to even, I'm just going to cover the differences between SCCM and Intune. Of course, I just mentioned it is an on-prem version, SCCM is, and cloud version of SCCM is an Intune. We will also see some sort of limitation between SCCM and Intune. And when it comes to the co-management, how it really works. Okay. That also will be covering it. And integration with Microsoft Endpoint Manager. How do you integrate it? Okay. Microsoft Endpoint Manager is, in fact, it's nothing but an Intune. But how do I integrate Azure Active Directory or your SCCM with Endpoint Manager? Okay. And the licensing requirement. It's not that it's a free. You can't just straight away use the Microsoft Intune as free version. SCCM can be used as a free. It's like a trial version is available for SCCM. Like a 180 days, you can make use of it. Okay. But Intune is not that. If you want some of the features of Intune can be used without a license, but if you want to utilize the features of your Intune, definitely you need to have a license for it. So we will even talk about what licenses are available, what licenses are useful for training purpose, and what is used for the corporate or the real-time environment. And then this is what I was talking about. How do you set up the infrastructure for Intune? Okay, I will set up an infrastructure for it. I will give you an access. You can even start using that the infrastructure. You can start deployment of the packages application or enrolling the devices to the Intune. Okay. So just we were talking about when you set up an infrastructure, you need to have the Azure portal account. That's Azure Active Directory. Okay. We will set up Azure Active Directory first. That's Azure portal. And then we will set up the Intune. Okay. And then how do you control that access mechanism? RBAC is nothing but role-based access control. It's not that every user will be having an access on the Intune portal. No, I just want to restrict it. I want only particular users should be able to use the Intune so that it is fully secure and it is in our control. In my organization, let's say I have around thousands of users. I don't need all the 1,000 users to use the Intune portal, right? I have around 100 people who are working on the Intune. So let's give access only to that. How do we basically control that access? This comes with the role-based access control. Okay, we'll talk about that. And enrollment options. When I say the enrollment, it is called device enrollment. The PC1, PC2, PC3 I'm talking about, these devices has to be enrolled with Intune. Okay. Devices should be enrolled with Intune. So without enrolling the devices with an Intune, you cannot do any of this deployment. This is a mandatory step. Okay. Okay. So this is all about the infrastructure setup. And once the infra is set up, how do you enroll the devices? How many ways you can basically enroll the devices? And as I was mentioning, how do you enroll the corporate devices? Or how do you enroll the bring your own devices? That's your personal devices. Okay, there are different ways to do the enrollment. We can use the company portal, we can use the autopilot, or we can manually go and log into the system and we can enroll it manually. Or else your corporate devices can be automatic enrollment processes also there. So this is all about the enrollment. We will see in detail how we can do that practically. And once the enrollment is done, I mean to say, once you have these devices are enrolled with an Intune, then what all you would able to do on these devices through your Intune portal. Okay. So that's what I was talking about, device configuration profile. How do you enforce the configuration profile? When I say the configuration profile, I want to fully manage the devices. I want to take the control of all your devices. Let's say you have your laptop, right? I want to take the control of your laptop. I don't want your laptop to be used like a camera or USB drives or the CD-ROM DVDs. Or if you try to download something from an internet, I want to block. Or when you say you have a desktop background, I want to have some company wallpaper to be on your desktop background, and your machine is ideal for 5 minutes. I want to lock your machine, or maybe for 1 or 2 minutes. It depends on the company policies, right? I don't want to leave your laptop without lock because there is no security, right? There is no privacy. Let's say you are working from home, your device is just unlocked, you just kept it open and went out for some reason, and somebody else can easily access your laptop, right? Because it's unlocked. They can do anything on your device. There is no security, there is no privacy over there. So, for any reason, if your device is ideal for 5 minutes, I want to lock. So, this is all something, some sort of the configuration profile has to be deployed onto your devices. It can be Wi-Fi related setting, or it can be some what do you call security related, like some sort of agents I want to deploy it. Okay. When I say these devices, right, the device enrollment, you have to remember that it's not only your laptop. When I say the devices, what all comes under the devices enrollment? It can be laptops, it can be mobiles, it can be the PC. When I say the PC, physical, virtual, or laptop, can be anything, and also the mobiles. When I say the mobile, it can be your Android, it can be iOS or any of the other operating system. So what is this? Why do I want to enroll the mobiles? Yes, you can even make use of your mobiles also, right? Intune will try to control your mobiles as well, because you want to use the emails, you want to use the Teams, or you want to use some your company website, some sort of applications developed by your company. How do you securely access all your company apps? Do you guys at any time have you ever observed it? Something called like if you say the Teams or Outlook, is it possible that can you download attachment of from your Teams and Outlook to your mobile and your local drive? Is that possible?
No, it's not possible. It is restricted by company.
Correct. You can't even do some copy paste of this, right?
Yeah.
So this is like restricting it. How I'm able to do this restriction? Because in the backend, I would have some Intune portal. This Intune is going to enforce some sort of profiles on your devices. So that is something I have to identify what of the policies has to be enforced. So this basically happens to the configuration profile. When I say the configuration profile, it talks about more of group policies kind of. Your on-prem, we call it as a group policies. So similar kind of thing. Okay. And complaints and conditional access, yes. I will even try to enforce this conditional access onto the devices. And I want to ensure that all the devices are compliant. Okay, how can I ensure that? You have to restrict the devices conditional access. Whenever it is meeting the condition, then only the device should able to access your company resources. I mean to say, let's give you an example. Right now, this laptop, currently I'm connected to connected from India, right? And let's assume I am currently working for a government project. Okay, that's an India government related project, right? That is very secure and sensitive data. If I work anywhere from India is okay for me. But if I try to go to US or UK or travel to some other location and I want to access it, I want to block that access because you are out of the country, right? So that is basically conditional access. Your device will able to access only whenever it meet the condition. I can even restrict a lot of other ways. That is called conditional access. And I'm trying to ensure my devices are compliant. How is it possible? You have, this is the another advantage of Intune. SCCM doesn't have this kind of capabilities, but Intune is having this capabilities, conditional access. Okay. Compliance versus configuration. This is all we're going to discuss about. Okay. Application management, it is, you all might be well aware of it because you are from the packaging background. I think Jagruti, you are already doing the application deployment. In SCCM, you can deploy MSIs, you can deploy MSIX and API. Similarly, Intune also is capable of deploying all sort of application, but Intune has the another feature that's called Intune Win kind of format. If you want to do the deployment of the application, you can do the deployment of your application to the mobiles as well as to your laptops, and you can deploy the application from the stores. You have Microsoft Store. The store will have some application. You don't need to create a package or application and upload it to the Intune. Some of the applications are already been available from the Microsoft Store. The way you have your Apple Store, you have your Android Store, right? Play Store. Applications are developed by some third party that is available there, and you are simply downloading and installing it from the store. Similar way, Intune is tied up with the stores, and you can directly select the application from the Android or the Play Store or from the iOS store, and you can deploy those applications to the mobiles. Okay. So these options are also available. That's an application deployment. How do we deploy it and how do you troubleshoot? How do you track the deployment of your application? And that is something we will discuss. And autopilot is something very interesting thing. This is something about I want to, I don't want to have a laptop coming to my office environment. And the legacy way of, delivering a laptop to my new employees, right? How does it going to happen? If I have, let's say, Jagruti joined to my organization, she is like a new employee, right? It just onboarded, but Jagruti needs to have a laptop. How do I deliver this laptop to Jagruti? What is the process in the package? You have to buy a laptop, right? Company will buy a laptop, and after that, they take it to the lab. They try to deploy the image, deploy OS image, and configure the laptop. They have to spend a lot of time in this, and then ship the laptop to the employee address. If you are working from home, it's like a remote. This is the process. Even if you are coming to the office, is also this will be anyway there, but either shipping it to the employee address, employee will come and collect it. It's any of those, right? Or else employee will collect from office. Any one of this, correct? So if this is the case, we have to spend, I have to put a lot of efforts for it. I have to go to the office and I have to image on this laptop. But during the COVID scenario, it was not the case that we are able to go to the office and do or build the images and deploy that, and we have to ship the laptop. That is like a very critical job, right? So that is the reason without a, I mean, Microsoft has startup. Why can't we avoid everything? Why can't we just simply automate this entire process? Nobody needs to go to the office to, image it. So that is where the Intune will help you. That is called Windows Autopilot. What will happen is, as like my company, if Jagrati is going to join as a new employee, what I try to do is I will order the laptop from HP. Okay, HP will give you the device hardware ID to me. That hardware ID I will try to upload into the Intune, and the moment you just switch on your laptop and gets connected to the Wi-Fi, this image will be automatically deployed and your device will get configured as per my company policies, and you would able to log into the laptop. So what is happening? I am placing an order with the HP or Dell vendor. I am asking the Dell vendor to deliver laptop directly to your home address. In between, it's not coming to office. I'm not going to the office and do image build on it. Directly, once I place an order, the laptop, brand new laptop, will be delivered to the employee address. Employee just has to plug in and just switch on the laptop, wait for some time. It will start loading that images and it will start configuring the laptop. That's all autopilot. Got it? So that feature will also, we will be discussing it. We'll also see it practically how we can do this autopiloting. And Intune endpoint security defender. So some sort of security configurations we have to set up. That's called security baseline to secure your laptop, to secure the devices. So that also we will talk about. We are running out of time. Yes. Monitoring, reporting, and troubleshooting. We will try to see how it basically works. Okay. Some sort of the tracking, the logging mechanism we have, and we have to troubleshoot as and when there are some issues, right? And the co-management is something interesting thing. So as I keep on mentioning, SSM will never get wiped out. We have to have the SSM. So we have to be like adapting to the cloud. That's an Intune, but it doesn't mean we are decommissioning the on-prem environment. So people start using the co-management. That's called hybrid environment. They want to use SSM. They want to use Intune, but they have to split the workloads between SSM and Intune. Okay, that's one thing. And this is not much of that governance best practices, like the controlling. How do you basically control your Intune, the RBAC, the governance, the updates? Okay, so this is what I was talking about, co-management. We will talk about in detail. Yep, that's about the course. And most probably it will be basically around 15 to 20 working sessions, like close to the 20 sessions we will have. Okay, close to 20 sessions. Each session is like 1 hour, and the timings I'm probably stick to the same timings, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. only. Okay, any doubts? I have two slots basically. One is morning 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. or else the evening it can be up 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. I mean, in between, I'll try to take 1 hour. So as of today, maybe after 15 or 20 days, I will be having some other flexibility. I might take the sessions somewhere in between 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. as well, if somebody is available, or 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. But it is not right now. Maybe after another couple of weeks, I will tell you that if it is possible, I'll try to do a session during this time. But as of now, you have to remember either, but mostly this session I would like to continue with the 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Whichever, I mean, wherever I see the majority of the students available, I will try to pick the slot. So now you tell me, Fayaz. So what is your times? Which one would you like to join here? Fayaz, you're on mute.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, I will ask you. I will tell you on WhatsApp. I will
Okay.
discuss on WhatsApp.
Okay. What about you, Jagriti?
For me, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. is a perfect timing, but I can manage
Yeah.
at 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. also.
Yeah. This is not immediately. This may take some time. But
Okay.
8 a.m. Let's stick to this. Immediately we can start with this. Okay. So you are available. And what about the others, Pankaj? I think you said it's good for you as well, right?
8 to 9.
Yeah, cool. And then Shiva. What about you, Shiva?
Actually, it is not possible for me to attend the 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. slot, Rajendra. Actually, I have
You
to be
want evening, right?
exactly 5:30 to 7 p.m. is the good time for me without any
Okay.
problem.
And you said like you have two others friends. You try to ask them if you all three wants
Sure,
to join, then maybe
sure,
this time we can see. And I have
sure.
another two or three more members who are interested for 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., but they didn't join this demo. But I think due to some their other, the conflicts. Let's see. I will try to reach out to them. I will just forward this demo to the other people as well if they have any doubts.
Hello.
Yep. Yeah, Fayaz.
Yes, sir. I want to know because what is the total charges and how many slots pay the charges?
No, this
Could
is
you?
what I said, right? It's a close to 20 sessions. Somewhere around it will land between 15 to 20 sessions. It depends what is that we are trying to cover. But yeah, it's not definitely more than these 20 sessions. Okay.
Yes,
I
I
will talk
want to
about
about charges, about
that.
payment,
We'll talk about
what
it.
is
Yeah. You
okay.
can just discuss with me. Okay. I will talk to you. That's fine. Any other doubts so far? Are we guys good? At least you got some idea what is that Intune